Have you ever been at the thrift store, come across something that screams so loudly at you that you have to buy it and go home with it immediately? Well, I have. And it was this. I was minding my own business, just looking around, and then all of a sudden I came across this toy treasure chest from, I believe, Ryan's World. And there was no way that I was leaving that thrift store without taking this home. So maybe it is a little weird that I bought a kid's toy chest and we'll be redoing it, but listen, it's going to be so easy because it's already built. It's just the shell of it. I don't actually think this looks really nice. Like, it looks so plasticky to me, so it definitely needs recovered and redone. Very much toy looking. So my plan here is to put EVA foam over the whole thing. I have tons of little foam scraps that I have very much so hoarded over on the other side of my studio. If I ever show you guys that side of my studio, you'll understand why I try and use all these scraps of foam, because there's so much. But I would like to be able to put it to good use, so I'm going to cover this whole thing, like I said, in EVA foam. And I think that it would be super cool if when you open it, it actually like lights up or something, because that would be such a cool little feature. On the inside, I don't know if I have a lot of plans to change it much. I might change this because that's the part that when you open it up you're going to see first. But I don't know if I'm going to change anything else in here, because really there's not a lot to change. There's like a little section that currently houses coins, which I guess they're kind of cute. Those would need a little bit of an update as well, but I think that this has a lot of potential and it's going to be really cool, and I cannot wait to start going on this project. So without further ado, let's get going. Alright, so looking at the treasure chest as is, before I go and do any kind of planning or mock-up of any sorts, there's some things I don't love. So specifically, I don't love how much fake gold there is in this. It's just very chunky. And I would rather it be more wood than gold pieces. So I did some mock-up pieces to like see how the wood would look whenever I cut it out. And I think what I want to do is make the wood much longer and the gold pieces to be very thin in comparison. So that is going to be my goal whenever I cover all of this. So hopefully it will not be the same plan as it is. When I first got it, I did actually plan to just cut them into pieces and overlap it, but that's boring. So I'm going to make this hard on myself and cover more than necessary. The chest is finally starting to look like something. I feel like in every project you get to a point where your project starts to look good, and we're finally there. So let me share with you what's happened. Okay, so I think the last thing I filmed was me trying to paint this part, and I ended up putting gold leaf over everything because I really enjoy gold leaf. I think it looks like more like real metal than paint. So I did that. It will need some more love to the gold leaf. It's in certain areas it's fine, but like this front is going to need a little bit more love. I'm also going to need to kind of brush off some extra pieces that are still just kind of hanging out. I went ahead and I spray painted everything black, or not spray painted, I gave it its Plasti Dip spray and put this all together just to kind of see what it would look like, and it's looking good, and I can finally visually tell what I was going for, and this makes me very excited. finished. I was a little lazy in filming things when it came to the treasure chest, but that is because there was just a lot going on, and my attention span just wasn't allowing me to actually film things while I worked on them for some reason. I'll do better. But what I did end up doing here was I added a bunch of little pieces around the sides, around the outside. I learned that you can take off this part and pull off the handle, so I pulled that off and decorated the handle really easy. There's just a lot of extra little pieces that went into covering this, but I think that it turned out really, really cool. The only thing that I didn't actually do was add the lights in. So when you open it, I wanted there to be lights, but I didn't end up doing that. I don't really know how to do that, but maybe that's something I learn in the future and actually add it to it later as just like a fun little project. Because I think that it would be very cool to just open the treasure chest when people are coming by to look for props, and it just magically lights up as you open it. So that is something that would be very cool to add, but for now, does not happen. My grandma, though, before she passed away, gave me a bunch of these little keys, and what I think is cool is that these actual real skeleton keys fit this lock. So you can push it in, and this tray will come out. If you want to lock the tray into place, could do that. You can also open the top of this, and this will open. I'm not going to actually open it because there's like a thing with a bunch of beads in the inside of the top of it. I'm also storing craft supplies in there because I'm running out of space to store craft supplies, so that is what's in the top of it. But I'm going to put like costume jewelry in the top here. So that is where the treasure chest is going to be. It's basically right when you walk in the studio, next to the wigs and some hats and headgear, that's not the right word, head crowns. They're all right here as well. But that was a really fun project. I really enjoyed it, and I only really spent like not a lot making it, especially whenever you find the thing in the thrift store already. So this was $6. I think altogether, I want to say, like, including the treasure chest, maybe an additional $10, so $16 to make the whole thing. That's a score in craft terms. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you see the final results of the treasure chest out in the wild, and I will see you next time, because right now I have to continue making a Barbie box because Barbie's coming out soon, and so I will be making that box actually right now. It's over there on the floor, so, which is also why I look a little sweaty. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish making that, and I will see you all later.